Hello folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy video. Today we are playing with Eddie H's Plumber deck list. Okay, we're going to have to break down the name because it's got that just amount of like crazy Legacy spice in here. Alright, this deck is called Painter after Painter's Servant, right? Well, what's in paint? Lead is in paint. Okay, what's the Latin word for lead? That's plumbum. You know, like PB on the periodic table? Plumbum, okay? Plumbum sounds like plumber, hence this deck list is named Plumber. Following? No? Okay, that's fine. We're just going to call it Plumber, or like we can call it something like Mono White Paint or two. Like whatever, it's cool. Whatever you want to call it, there's sweet things in here. In case you're not familiar with the core combo, Painter's Servant turns every card into a color of your choice. And then Grindstone mills 2 cards, and if the cards share a color, you repeat this process. This is a 2-card infinite combo that just mills out your opponent. Ta-da! Easy wins. And one of the cool things about the Painter archetype is that it got a major shot in the arm from Urza Saga, which allows you to just fetch out the Grindstone very consistently. And a lot of times these decks used to play something like Karn the Great Creator to just have access to a similar effect. Well, this is that tutoring ability, but on a land. And this white build specifically, which is very much not stock, has some cool options to it. You get card draw from Esper Sentinel. You get the ability to protect via Mother of Runes. You are going to go and get some ability to stop your opponents from comboing off via Aethersworn Canonist, and guess what? Your stuff's artifacts, so you're probably not going to run into downside from this card yourself. And you get some other neat things like Ingenious Smith, and I'm just going to read this one because while this shows up in like Modern Hammer Time, it is not really Legacy played. So when it ETBs, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You can reveal an artifact and put it into your hand, and the rest go to the bottom of your library. What's more is whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Unfortunately, this only triggers once a turn. And then, of course, we have Legacy staple Oswald Fiddlebender, who has magical tinkering. You can search your artifact. You can sacrifice an artifact to search your library for an artifact card with CMC equal to 1 plus the sacrificed card's CMC. This is sorcery only, so essentially this is my artifact birthing pod. So you can turn one of these things that you got off Urza Saga into your Painter Servant to help you combo off. Note, we do have a nice 3-drop to search for. We do have a Crucible of Worlds, and wink wink nudge nudge, Urza Saga is pretty frickin' sick with that. Honestly, so is Wasteland, which we found room for in this mana base. Really excited to try out this main deck here, and I think it looks pretty good. The Hope of Girapur is a little bit cute. It's something you could search off of with Urza Saga, poke your opponent with it, and then sort of like combo off without your opponent being able to disrupt it. I like that a lot. As far as the sideboard goes, we have a lot of removal. We have 3 copies of Swords to Plowshares, as well as 2 portable holes to kind of get opposing permanents and creatures out of the way. And then a lot of the rest of this is combo hate. We have Deafening Silences for matchups like Doomsday or Storm. We have some Leyline of Sanctities, which I'm not super sure why they're here. Just like off the top of my head, I'm sure it'll kind of occur to me as I'm playing though. And this deck runs Torpor Orb, which is just a sick fucking hate card. Very happy with this thing. I will say Torpor Orb will shut off the ETB ability of Ingenious Smith, so like it's not 100% free in this deck list, but it's a good enough hate card that I think that's fine. Anyway, I'm super excited to try this one out. If you think there's other things that should be in here, especially in the main deck, let me know. Oswald Fiddlebender opens up a lot of really interesting design space with singleton cards. We see that with like the one of Phyrexian Revoker here. That's like almost certainly here as a tutor target for this thing. Let me know if you have other thoughts of things that should be in here. I don't think this deck can afford like too many slots for like Fiddlebender targets, but like there's a portable hole, there's a Phyrexian Revoker, and then there's these 5 cards here, which also double as Urza Saga tutor targets. So I think this is a pretty good balance, but again, let me know if you have any ideas for other things that should slot in here. Anyway, if you're new here, please consider subscribing for Legacy, Modern, and Vintage content on the regular. And if you are a regular already, please throw me a like or a comment or something before we get started. It is the easiest way to support my content for free. Let's battle. So I have a really weird opening hand here. Like I have a combo piece. I have a mana sink. I have a kind of weird card that I'm not going to super consider in this mulligan decision. And I have double Wasteland. I am not sure if this is a mulligan. It becomes very good if I draw a painter. It becomes very good if I draw an Urza Saga. It becomes very good if I draw a Fiddlebender. Um, I think that's gonna be enough draws that I am okay keeping this. I also just like have a Caracas in hand for some random. Oh god, don't fucking challenge me. Don't do it. This is what it feels like. This is what it fucking feels like. All right. Okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm just gonna wasteland this person. Fuck me. We're gonna wasteland this person into oblivion, ruin their life just like they have ruined mine, and we'll go from there. Oh my god, they kept a one land chalice hand. Oh god, yeah, ah. I'm not even mad. I am not even mad at all. Let's go. This is magic just like Richard fucking Garfield intended it. Ooh. Alright, so I don't get rid of that mana source. Ooh, curses? Okay. Yeah, so they're playing around Athalia by getting that, and fuck me, I guess. Alright. I'm going to hide this wasteland for as long as possible. And me and my 6 1-drops, we're just gonna hang out. We're gonna have a good time here. Oswald Fiddlebender. My man. Let's go. I even have Caracas protection for him. Alright. Now, I don't have protection from a Sudden Edict. Okay, this is insane. It might not look like it, but this is insane. So I cast this Lotus Petal, and then I can turn... No, fuck you! Don't do it! Don't do it! God damn it! Ah! Oswald. Oswald, why? Sudden Edict is one of the few things that I can't, like, save my creature from. You can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. And now I don't get to turn this into a 1-drop and sneak a 1-drop into play. That's fine. This game is great. Alright, alright, we are up to 7 1-drops in hand. It's a bit much. Alright, you have another land. Now the stuff like Opposition Agent can start coming down. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, that's fine. That's a minimal difference right now. Alright, so the jig is going to be up about what I am playing now. Everything's blue. Okay. So, the game plan here is find Urza's Saga, play Urza's Saga, use that to put a Grindstone into play, win. Hello, Oswald Fiddlebender, my friend. Welcome. I am not going to protect you with Caracas because I might need this Lotus Petal at some point. I'm also not going to attack into Opposition Agent. It does not seem like my opponent has it, because they would have just, like, cast it, but I really, really, really cannot afford to be wrong here. These chalices are really pretty, though. Dig this. Okay, that is an Urza Saga. Into what? 4 mana could be like a Hagra Mauling, I think. Oh, no! Do not want. Okay. So that can straight up destroy my Lotus Petal. Yeah. Okay. So, we're up to 8 1-drops in hand. We got that going for us. I have a lot of lines available. I can get rid of my Painter and turn it into a Crucible of Worlds. I can attack Karn for 3, get Crucible of Worlds, get Wasteland Crucible going. I am unsure if that is better than just, like, keeping the Painter around. I absolutely hit the Karn for 3 as a starting point. That just, like, absolutely has to happen. Thing is, it just, like, pluses to 4. I guess I'm gonna just Wasteland that Urza Saga. And I might end up in a situation where I just have to turn the Painter into a Crucible of Worlds, because I, like, draw something that I need to play. And I need to, like, work on those lands. I'm not super worried about beating an Ensnaring Bridge long term. I'm also a little unsure if there's any sort of, like, weird Mycosynth Lattice interactions that happen with Painter. Don't quite have... Okay. So they're just gonna go ahead and protect the Karn by plussing. Alright, that is just another Chalice on 1. My opponent is probably mostly just doing to get that card out of their hand. They're probably going to be playing towards Ensnaring Bridge in the long run. How badly do I want this Crucible of Worlds? Because I'm going to miss my land drop this turn. I think I want it. I grab Crucible. I'll play this Wasteland out, and then I'll discard like an Esper Sentinel or something. This means I'm a little bit worse against Edict effects. I'm super unsure if I was supposed to do that. But I want this Crucible before my opponent, like, blows up my creatures, and then I lose the opportunity to ever get this. Because if my opponent doesn't get curses going, I think I can just, like, beat this Karn. Although I guess, like, Liquid Metal Coating gets awkward. No, like, this makes me better against Liquid Metal Coating in some ways. This is just a absolutely puzzling game of Magic. Also, how many 1-drops do I actually have? Okay, about half of my deck. Okay, so it's just another plus on the Trinisphere, repeating that pattern. Alright, no attack. Ooh, that is beautiful. Let's do this smart. Play this Wasteland from Graveyard so that I can cast this Ingenious Smith. Lotus Petal, Canonist, Ancient Den. I don't super want any of these. Ancient Den is sort of interesting. Lotus Petal is sort of interesting. No, shit, Chalice. How does this card read? Whenever one or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control. Okay. I guess I'll grab the Canonist. I don't actually have anything to cast, and I've already made my land drop. And I'll discard some 1-drop. I'm not gonna think too long and hard about it. Oddly, if I would have not played the Wasteland to hold up Caracas for Fiddlebender, I could have played my artifact land for Ingenious Smith, and then gotten a trigger off of this. That's bad. That's real bad. I think that means I'm just going to lose. Okay. Get a Canonist into play. Not really doing anything. Yeah, I think I just get 2 curses and then I die. So I'm going to lose the ability to activate all of my stuff. Karn is nearing ultimate anyway. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and concede here. I think this is the point where my opponent's got it. Rough. I guess giving myself hexproof is surprisingly good in this matchup. I probably board this. I'm not super good at actually answering a Chalice, because Portable Hole is kind of my answer to that sort of thing. Yeah. I do not want Soul Guide Lantern. Most of the rest of my cards are pretty reasonable. Like, I can think about something like Source to Plowshares for cards like Opposition Agent and Plague Engineer, but I'm not super good at casting them through a Chalice. Which, I had 7 cards stuck in hand for most of that game. My opponent probably has the memo that, like, Chalice is good against me. I will probably just trim 2 1-drops and call it good. Weather of Runes is bad. Like, too many humans in the deck is going to be bad against a Plague Engineer. I'm going to board in 1 more Portable Hole, because it can still just answer, like, Chalice on 0 or some, like, artifact mana that my opponent plays out. I kind of expect my opponent to just, like, mulligan to a Chalice and own me, though. This is a pretty reasonable hand. I'm going to keep this. I probably play Urza's Saga on turn 2 with this hand after playing Esper Sentinel on turn 1. Okay, my opponent kept on 7. I'll play the Esper Sentinel. I'll see if I can draw a card out of it. I have Wasteland for if my opponent leads on a Soul Land of some kind. I just get to take that out. Okay, there's the Soul Land. We running it back. This is going to be top 10 anime betrayals, just like Chalice of the Void being used against Phil. Okay. Opponent could pay for that and still do a Chalice. What's going under this? Okay, it's a Sudden Edict going under. Dark Ritual. Chalice on 2. Deal? Wasteland U. Play Retrofitter Foundry. Attack for 1. This is absolutely going to be a game that I just hope to win with an Urza Saga Construct token. Alright. Nice, nice, nice. There's something like Dark Ritual Opposition Agent. I could play around that by playing... Nope, can't play around that by playing either Sworn Canonist. Never mind. I'm going to go ahead and attack on in. Like, if that 2-card sequence happens, I still will have traded, like, Esper Sentinel for a Dark Ritual. That's fine. Alright. I will play my Urza Saga. And in my opponent's... Well, there's, like, playing around Sudden Edict, and there's, like, playing around Plague Engineer. I'm going to go ahead and make this now. I would like to play this around Sudden Edict. And if my opponent has a Plague Engineer, they probably end up naming Servo anyway. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Alright. This can do scary things. Yeah, this can be 5 mana. They can just have, like, black card plus curse or something here. Okay, they've paid the tax, so it's not, like, a Curse of Misfortunes. What went under that? Curse of Fool's Wisdom went under that. Oh, it's just a Trinisphere? Game fucking on. Let's go. Yeah, so I will just play the things that increase my artifact count the most. I will bash in for 2. I'm going to get a very large Urza Saga Construct token, followed by another. Yeah, this is just the game where my opponent drew entirely the lock piece side of their deck and didn't have a threat, and they're getting punished for that. Alright, there's my 5/5 friend. Here's my 6/6 friends. What do I want? Like, I can't really Painter combo with a Chalice on 2. I'm just gonna Pithing Needle Karn. I just want to shut off that angle of attack for my opponent. Play a new Urza's Saga. I can't actually play a spell there. Trinisphere does Trinisphere things. I will bash in for most of my opponent's life total. I am now out of the range of things like Toxic Deluge. They would have to Toxic Deluge for 5 in order to kill both of these, and then cascade into killing these, and that is their life total. Don't think anything changes about what I want here. The issue now is that I'm on the draw, and I'm not really good at answering a Chalice on 1. And try to beat through it. There are also just like some Dark Ritual Trinisphere sorts of things that just can do what lock pieces do. I wonder if this deck is supposed to have some sort of actual factual, like 2 mana disenchant sort of thing. Like normally in a white deck, I would suggest like Prismatic Ending right now. That's probably not what you want here. But something of that ilk, a Prismatic Ending, a Council's Judgment, a Disenchant, whatever. I am absolutely here for this hand. So this has a Leyline to stop me from getting cursed. This has a decent 1 mana card and a decent 2 mana card, so that Chalice on either 1 or 2 on turn 1 doesn't just completely lock me out. Yeah, absolutely. I know why you're here now, Leyline of Sanctity. Gotta keep those fools like Reaplecheap from just running wild and savaging me in the leagues. Love you, Reaplecheap. Alright. Do you have a Dark Ritual? No, you have a Chrome Mox. So are we dealing with Chalice on 1? That's a curse under there, which is sure not going to do anything against Leyline of Sanctity. Okay, Chalice on 0. So my Lotus Petal doesn't do anything. Is there more? There is more. Okay. So this is going to be a slow game. I don't get a play until turn 3, and my opponent might. We'll see if they have more land drops. Like, it's very possible that, like, just concede the game on the spot to their own Trinisphere beating them. Yeah, GG's. That was a wild round 1. Okay. Opening hand here is fine. I wish it had 1 more mana source, but I'm hoping that Esper Sentinel nets me a card or 2 over the course of this game. I think between the Esper Sentinel and the Ingenious Smith giving me another redraw in addition to just my draw steps per turn, I think I'm going to be okay. I can also just, like, cycle Soul Guide Lantern if I need to. I think the stuff that's here is just fine. This is not like the ideal, like, Urza Saga, Painter, win on turn 3 hand by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm hoping it's fine. I am just going to take the Esper Sentinel attack in before doing anything else and see if this, like, causes me to get a card. My opponent decides to Swords to Plowshares or something like that, you know, I get a card out of it before I make any other decisions for my turn. I also think that I want to get the Ingenious Smith going as quickly as possible. Okay, and it has resolved. If I play the Lotus Petal, I can make Ingenious Smith bigger this turn. Do I want Lotus Petal more than I want Ancient Den? Not really. I'm gonna play Lotus Petal into Hope of Girapur, just like be attacking for 2 more power next turn. Maybe that's fine. I think this is a maybe that's fine sort of hand. Just yield to that. And I'm just gonna kind of hope that like Esper Sentinel draws me a card at some point and recoups that Lotus Petal that I just used. Okay, did not get like end step entombed or something crazy like that, so that's good. Okay. Don't have a super good indication of what I am actually playing against currently. Showing this Wasteland is awkward, but I also want to play Painter pre-combat. Alright. I want to play my Painter. Everything's green. Everything's green. Ingenious Smith is bigger. I'm attacking in for 5. Like, this is a Reality Smasher worth of damage. Okay, it looks like it's connecting. I am going to save the Soul Guide Lantern for next turn to grow Ingenious Smith. Like, I'm not taking a single card out of the graveyard with it right now. I think that's okay. Please don't Terminus me. Okay, Swords to Plowshares targeting Painter. You're going to pay the 1. That's fine. Did not get Terminus. That's really what I cared about there. Thopter, Human Artificer, Human Soldier. Okay, so I lose the Plague, or the Esper Sentinel here. Okay. Well, this sucks. I guess I'll play and cycle this immediately. I'll junk that Swords to Plowshares. Draw a card. Daggers. I will absolutely trade Ingenious Smith for Plague Engineer. Alright, opponent does not accept. Unfortunate for me because I have double humans in hand. Okay, they're getting in there with that Plague Engineer. Alright, that's a Brainstorm. Alright, new land drop. Okay, so there's not like a Terminus floating on top. That's good information. My opponent might just be like Esper Vial. Yeah, they are. Gross. That just will get reset on something that kills Hope of Girapur, and I can't really remove this Plague Engineer. Alright, I'll bash in. We'll see if my opponent trades. Okay, I am very glad that my opponent traded, because now I can deploy a bunch of the other stuff from my hand more safely. I'll blow up their Tundra. I will play an Esper Sentinel, and I will play a Mother of Runes. Now, obviously, I will get absolutely savaged by a second Plague Engineer. We'll see if my opponent has it. Oh, wow. That is a Soul Herder attack. I don't believe that I'm willing to double block here. These permanents are pretty valuable for me. Like, Urza Construct tokens backed up by protection from Flicker Wisp bullshit sounds just delicious. Okay. Okay, so that bounces my Mother of Runes. And then my opponent... So, whenever a creature is exiled from the battlefield. So my opponent is going to try to blink their Venser, which means I should probably just return it to their hand so they don't get that value and they have to like use their mana again. But that's definitely obnoxious. All right. The Urza Construct tokens all of a sudden don't look so great. I hit with this. Put my opponent to 6. Venser also just has Flash, which is some bullshit. I think I am supposed to play Ingenious Smith rather than try to grind that value off of my... Fuck me. Urza's Saga here. It's a little weird, but this kind of allows me to do 3 things. It allows me to put a Scaling Threat in play. It allows me to potentially get Mother of Runes in play to do protection from blue, and it allows me to hold up Caracas for Venser so my opponent can't blink 2 things. Ooh, okay. Do I get a card? Ooh, I got a card. Nice. I will say Plague Engineer just absolutely stomps me currently. Okay, goodbye, Mom. And that does grow Soul Herder. That is how that works. So it's a 3/3 now. Okay. Yeah. I mean, 2 mana cantripping land destruction is pretty hot, admittedly. Oh my god, this Soul Herder is just fucking thirsty. Um, Fiddlebender can turn into Painter and has 1 more point of power. I think I'm going to go ahead and play this and try to hit an artifact that I can play this turn to grow this out of range of another Plague Engineer. Alright, my hits off Ingenious Smith have not been super kind. I get in 2 points of damage. Opponent's down to 4. I'm still trying to play around Venser a little bit. I will have Crucible Wasteland / Crucible Urza Saga coming in the not too distant future. It is just absolutely insane to me that my opponent is not trying to respect their life total at 4 life. I think I'm going to play this Crucible, and it's just going to get bounced to my hand. Pretty awkward for me. I think that's better than doing, like, the Legend rule on Caracas line to cast Oswald Fiddlebender twice. Alright, I'll cast it. My opponent will Venser it. Okay, that's fine. I will now Legend rule my Caracas. And this is purely so that I can bounce the Venser on my opponents. Actually, I'll bounce it now. And just take my 3 points of damage and put them to 1. Yeah, I like this line. I think my opponent could be at a much higher life total right now. Okay. That's obnoxious. Okay. And so my opponent is going to get to do that again. So they'll blink it, they'll get my other Ingenious Smith. Yeah. Alright, Pithing Needle, not exactly good here. I don't super know how I'm going to beat what's going on now. The Portable Hole isn't going to answer this stuff. I kind of need to just combo off. Opponent also just has, like, Venser, which is a problem. I'm going to try to just name Flooded Strand here and keep my opponent off of some mana. So my opponent gets to just blink the Solitude and remove my Esper Sentinel anyway at end of turn, which means I should probably just go ahead and take a chump block and take this life. It's not great, though, because then they just get to put, like, Venser into play, and this can just return my Urza Saga endlessly. Not great for me. This also has, like, lifelink. Yeah, Portable Hole doesn't answer this stuff. Yeah, I guess I concede here. I don't think my opponent played that game particularly well. Like, they did the Esper Vial thing where, like, I let the game go on for too long and they won. But I think they got incredibly greedy with those Soul Herder attacks. Like, all they need to do is drag the game on and they win. And, like, they cut it down to 1 life. I will play some Torpor Orbs. They will be great. I will play Swords to Plowshares over Portable Hole, absolutely. I don't know that I want any of this other stuff. Ethos 1 Canonist doesn't seem particularly great here. It has some text. Don't need Soul Guide Lantern. Pithing Needle is pretty mediocre because most of my opponent's stuff is on, like, activated or triggered abilities of creatures. Like, I can name some random fetch lands, or sometimes there'll be something like a Teferi. I don't know that I actually want that, though, like, as a card that's in my deck. Similarly, I'll probably cut the Revoker, and then I'll probably just trim 1 Canonist. I don't know if the Canonist is better than just trimming 1 human or Plague Engineer purposes. Hand's medium minus. Like, it has some cool things going on, but I have no ability to combo early. I don't have a turn 1 play. If my opponent fetch basics, this half of the deck doesn't do anything. I'm going to just try to find something a little more aggressive. This hand is unquestionably just worse. I'm going to ship this. I mean, on 5, I'll keep this, but this is not good, right? Like, I am just missing so much here. You know, I'm going to play this and hope that Torpor Orb steals a game or Esper Sentinel draws me some cards to get me out of this. Not super hopeful about my prospects. All right. That's fine. Crashing with my Esper Sentinel. Opponent goes to 19. I am going to attempt to get the Mother of Runes active early. I'm pretty far away from just doing a Grindstone combo thing, so I'd rather play around like spot removal, like Solitude or whatever, by having an active Mother of Runes. Okay, nice. I get a card off of this. And I got another land. That's pretty huge. So I'll poke for my 1 point of damage. Opponent goes to 18. Now, I don't know that I need to play the Torpor Orb yet if my opponent is stuck on one land. I am just going to play another creature first. Normally, I would really prioritize getting Torpor Orb onto the battlefield, but a lot of my opponent's good ETB creatures are going to be at CMC 3, so I think I can just take the turn off without it mattering too much. All right. Opponent found lands. I mean, there's I guess the punish for me playing not Torpor Orb. Although if I played Torpor Orb, then like the Solitude would lose its evoke ability on ETB and just would sit in play. So like that would be awkward in a different way. Okay, the Torpor Orb has caused a response from my opponent, which presumably will be a Brainstorm. Okay. Nope, it has just resolved. Okay. We'll just start by attempting to attack in. I have Source to Plowshares for if things go wrong and my opponent just like pitch casts a Solitude or something. Yeah, sure, that's fine. Alright, goodbye. I will go ahead and play ye old Oswald Fiddlebender. Call it a turn. I can start using him to do some interesting things. Spreading Seas. This is still an artifact, right? Okay, yeah, it's still an artifact, so I can just turn it into something more interesting. So I'm going to play Lotus Petal. I am going to play Shadow Spear. I'm going to activate Oswald Fiddlebender and turn Shadow Spear into a painter. Everything's red. I'll call it a turn. With a mana source, I can just cast a Grindstone. Okay, that's fine. It slows me down a bit. Also, unsure why opponent randomly floated a blue mana there. I guess they were still thinking about, whatchamacallit. Okay, Urza Saga is cool. Alright, so I'll play Urza Saga. I will play out a Grindstone. I will go ahead and tinker the Grindstone into a painter immediately. Everything is green now. And I'll call it a turn. And I can work towards getting a Grindstone a couple of different ways. Alright. Take my time here. Okay. I think I just take an Urza Saga Construct token this turn and attack my opponent for 2. I think now I just switch into beatdown mode and just keep the combo as a backdoor that is just going to be imminent for my opponent. Your Baleful Strix is fine, it doesn't cantrip. Alright, I activate Urza Saga. I'll take a 4/4. I think I want to go ahead and just Source of Plowshares this on my opponent's turn. I don't know if Force of Negation is currently in their lists, but I'm very sure that I want to just get that out of the way. And again, I am going to stay on the beatdown line right now. I will make my token. I will pick up a Grindstone, though. I will go ahead and bash in. There's a chance this could trade with a Solitude here. Alright. Opponent is facing lethal on board. I have a Torpor Orb in play. I have Painter combo coming as well. I think I'm good. Another Baleful Strix. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Wasteland is fantastic. Do I try to end it this turn? I guess let's just start here. All right, opponent's at 9. Yeah, okay, good stuff. Torpor Orb doing Torpor Orb things. I'm going to go ahead and just run this back as is. I did not see a Teferi to like let me know for sure that I do want to have that Pithing Needle in my deck. Oh, what a hand. Absolutely. Okay, sure. Nice, okay. So here's my Grindstone on 1. I can either have Painter on 2 or just Torpor Orb on 2. I think I'm just going to select Torpor Orb on 2. And just, like, better play around Solitude sort of effects. Okay, yeah. It's a little awkward that, like, my Ingenious Smiths aren't gonna trigger, but, like, it's fucking Torpor Orb. Insane against what my opponent has going on. Alright, sure. This gets basic planes. They do have the Teferi. Okay, they have just purely plus Teferi. Okay, I mean, bounce my stuff. Everything's green. So they can bounce my Painter, and then I can just double... Oh, they're just going for the Torpor Orb, so they might have, like, a Solitude or something. Oh, they're trying to draw... Are they trying to draw for Swords to Plowshares? Oh, no, they already have the Swords to Plowshares. Sure. That's fine. I'm in a great position here. Play Torpor Orb first. I'll use that as my bait spell. And then I will play a new Painter. Everything's red. But Teferi's not at a point where he can just, like, instantly bounce one of these things and get them out of play. Okay, and that is the concession. GG's. So this is a very weird opening hand, in that I can play double Lotus Petal and start activating Urza Saga on turn 2. Whether or not that means this is a keep is kind of weird. I think I'm going to keep it. Like, depending on what my opponent does on turn 1, I could also just, like, play out a Mother of Runes as protection for the Urza Saga construct tokens. Yeah, I could go, like, Urza Saga, Petal, Mom, then turn 2 is, like, play Karakas, Petal, activate Urza Saga. Yeah, that's sort of weird. I kind of like it. I have not had many hands that quite look like this one. Alright, opponent mulliganed once. We'll see what they're up to. You are also playing the cheaty mana game. Oh, don't Blood Moon me, though. Oh, thank God. It's just a Goblin Rabblemaster. I mean, that's still plenty good. It hits like a truck. But I will get turn 1 Mother of Runes going. There's also some worlds where I could play an Ingenious Smith on turn 1. Get it to a 2/2 and immediately trade that with Goblin Rabblemaster. Unless my opponent has, Stomp? Or I guess Fury. The issue with, like, not using my Lotus Petal mana on turn 1 is that if my opponent goes Karn the Great Creator and then my Lotus Petals get shut off, I'm just, like, absolutely pants down to what they are doing. Yeah, I'm gonna play an Ingenious Smith on turn 1 over Mother of Runes, oddly. This is super weird. Alright, play Ingenious Smith. Another Lotus Petal? Yeah. Yeah, I would. Let's play that. And that triggers this. I just do this too? Maybe I just do this as well. And then hold this Lotus Petal to trigger this next turn, and then I can use it to activate Urza's Saga as well. Yeah, okay. That was weird. Okay. Do I want to trade for the Rabblemaster here, or do I want to take 4 and then have it covered forever? I think I just want to trade here. I think these individual points of life are pretty relevant in case my opponent ends up... There's a punish for, Oh my god, my opponent didn't take my Lotus Petal. I'm so happy. That means that I get a construct this turn when I didn't think I was going to get a construct this turn. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'll just put planes in play, I think. Okay, so everything's coming in. I will go ahead and just make my construct token. I will block one of these goblins. I will give protection from red. And I'll take 5. What the hell is this? Okay, it's another Thought-Knots here. The colorless here is super relevant. I can't make another construct. I'll make a colorless mana. How am I winning this game? I can attempt to Shadow Spear and become bigger than Thought-Knot Seers. I don't know that that is realistically going to happen in time. I think I need to take Retrofitter Foundry. I take Retrofitter Foundry. I use 2 mana to turn this into a 3/3. I play a new Urza Saga and call it a turn. And then next turn, I kind of hope that I can increase my artifact count high enough to get at least as big as these Thought-Knot Seers. And I am absolutely just going to throw away a Mother of Runes for 4 life here. Oh my god, what a draw. Absolute, just beautiful, beautiful draw. So now both of these are 5/5s. I don't want to attack with this and offer this trade with this goblin. Okay. I think I'm good now in a lot of cases, especially if I get to make one more construct. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. Oh, you're getting pithing needled. All right. So here's my new construct. God. Batter skull. Junk you. All right. Play a land. I don't think I want to start attacking yet. I would like these to be 8/8s, so they trade with 2 bodies rather than 1 when I attack in with them. Okay, that is the post-combat Goblin Rabblemaster. Then I will turn my servo into a Thopter. Wasteland's not bad. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna go Wasteland, blow up a City of Traders, attack in with 1 Construct token. I don't know, maybe I need to hold back. Like, if I block 3 things, I'm still taking a decent amount of damage. Yeah. Just gonna go ahead and chill here. I think if I win this one, I will win this one with overwhelming force and violence. And my opponent's ability to cast more spells and make the board better is pretty darn low. So I think I'm good with this. I think I'm just going to eat 2 goblins this turn. Okay, yep. The goblins just absolutely have to attack in. I'll get rid of those. I also should have, I guess, attacked with this Thopter, since I could have attacked with it and then immediately changed it into a 4/4. Small misplay on my end. Nice, nice, nice. I'm going to go ahead and play a Painter's Servant. Everything is black. I am going to go ahead and anchor a construct token into a Grindstone, and then I'll just kill my opponent next turn. I did not really think I was coming back from that one. GG's. The main deck Pithing Needle coming in clutch to answer Batterskull so that my opponent couldn't just like attack with that, let it die, and then equip it to a Thought-Knot Seer and just have the biggest thing on the battlefield. Portable Hole answers not Goblin Rabblemaster and Friends, so I probably want to place Swords to Plowshares over those. I don't think I want something like Torpor Orb. It has some utility in this matchup, but I just don't know that it's going to be good enough. So, like, I don't think I want my Portable Hole. I don't think I want Soul Guide Lantern. I kind of hope that my opponent has gotten the impression that Chalice isn't good against my deck. I don't know, like, how my opponent will feel about that card, because I showed a lot of 2-drops. So I showed them, like, Painter, Fiddlebenders, Ingenious Smiths. Like, they still know I have Grindstones. I guess I showed a Mother of Runes. Hard to say where they'll fall on that. I could just board out, like, a Hope of Girapur. But since my opponent has Thought-Knot Seers, being able to just fish a 1/1 chump blocker off an Urza Saga has some worth. I could just, like, board down a Canonist, although Canonist trades with Goblin Rabblemaster. I'm going to board down 1 Esper Sentinel. I do have to worry that my opponent could have some Artifact Haymakers in their sideboard, like Meltdown type cards. There is also the possibility that just, like, a Blood Moon shuts down my Urza Saga stuff. I don't think they're going to have Blood Moon since they're on Thought-Knot Seers, but you never know. Could have Blood Sun instead. I have a weird opener here. So this is not a combo opener hand. This is a hand that's pretty reasonable versus Goblin Rabblemaster type stuff, though, so I think I'm going to go ahead and keep it. Another thing that I kind of have to keep in mind in this matchup is that, like, Karn the Great Creator is something that certainly exists, so, like, just having a hand with 3 cards that can turn sideways has some real value. Alright, what goes under the Chrome Mox? Oh, Godo. Yep, I kind of thought that might be coming because I saw the Batterskull, which is not super traditionally in a lot of these deck lists. I think this line is right. It's a little not the way that I intended to play this hand. But I think I just need to keep my opponent from getting more stuff onto the board. I could Mother of Runes here. I might just save this for Aethersworn Canonist on turn 2 to just straight up trade with the Rabblemaster in combat, though. Not 100% sure if that's correct. Ooh, that's some damage. A lot of damage, honestly. Alright, I mean, I absolutely just need to play something that can get in front of one of those Goblin Rabblmasters and trade with it. Like, this is what I was trying to avoid, but my opponent had oh, I believe that is literally... Yeah, attack all. Attack all, friend. I believe I am literally dead to that. Yeah. I mean, that is the power of a good aggro opening hand. That was just 3-drop on turn 1, 3-drop on turn 2 with removal spell for my blocker. And, you know, Portable Hole does not get in the way of that. Like, I can technically hit the Chrome Mox, but I don't think that's what I'm about. Okay. Plains Esper Sentinel on 1. Aethersworn Canonist and Urza Saga on 2, as well as Lotus Petal. I can mix Wasteland in here if I need to. This hand is fine. I don't know, maybe I need to be mulliganing for a combo hand versus this matchup because they have better tools at being aggressive than I do at being defensive. But this is a pretty darn reasonable mix of lands and spells. Yeah, I don't know, maybe the existence of Thought-Knot Seer makes me have to mulligan a little more aggressively than I am to try to go under that, because cards that are sitting in my hand are vulnerable to some opposing disruption. I'm probably going to play Lotus Petal on 1 to play around both Chalice on 0 and Tronosphere on 1, but then it makes my white artifact cantrippy growy guy worse. Okay, my opponent took 1 mulligan. I'm going to jam both Esper Sentinel and Lotus Petal here and just kind of see what my opponent has to say about it. Oh, Cavern's in there. I mean, I guess it's simultaneously red mana for goblins and then colorless mana for Thought-Knot Seer. Okay. Okay. Am I getting a free card? I am not. But if I'm not getting a free card, then that means that my opponent is not playing a 3-drop this turn. What is that? Shatter Skull Smashing. Okay, I did lose the Esper Sentinel, though. It's so awkward for me. I want to get the Urza Saga ticking up to just make constructs with it, but I don't think I can let my opponent have mana unchecked. So I'm going to do this, and then I just, like, don't super love using a Lotus Petal to play a 2-2, but I probably have to, because I don't have any pressure otherwise. Fuck. Yes! 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 Okay. My opponent's Trinosphere is my win condition. Damn it! You stop that. Alright. I'm going to attempt to attack in with this 2-2. About where I thought that was going to go. I'll play Urza Saga, and then I will start making artifacts with it, and I can't cast a spell due to the Trinosphere. Yeah, this is fine. I think it is worth it to take some damage to make 2 constructs in the long run, because I already have 1 artifact land, so this construct is already of medium size. Oh, don't be Karn. I mean, Thought-Knot Seer sucks, but that's beatable. It just takes my Source to Plowshares. Notably, my opponent lost their City of Traders to play that Thought-Knot Seer, so they are back below the Trinosphere mana threshold. Ooh, and I drew another Swords to Plowshares to boot. Beautiful. What do I want here? Lotus Petal guarantees that I can cast Source to Plowshares next turn. I think it's between Lotus Petal and Retrofitter Foundry. Or Retrofitter Foundry. Like, I just get the ability to make another creature off of this, and then both of these are 5/5s, and my board is just totally stabilized. I will trade for the Thought-Knots here. I find that acceptable, because I just get to draw another card immediately, and that's another look at a land. Or another Oswald Fiddlebender. Okay, nice. Okay, I'm up to a 4/4. I think at this point, every turn... I'm just going to pass a turn here. I'm going to hold up both Source to Plowshares and Retrofitter Foundry. Okay, nice. Alright, good stuff. I will just take my 1/1 here. That turns this into a 5/5. I'm going to get an active Mother of Runes. And then I'll feel pretty safe. Yeah, opponent's flooding out. This is not where they want to be. So I will get an Oswald Fiddlebender into play. That just gives me more options for things to do with my mana. At this point, this 5/5 attack is totally reasonable, because I can just, like, block with a servo token and then protect, or even just straight up block with a servo token and not protect. I'll protect. I'll make them show their hand. Like, if their hand is just like, you get to stomp this, still a 1-for-1 trade for me that doesn't decrease my artifact count and still leaves me with a ton of options. Yeah, that's fine. Like, I still have the better board by a lot. Okay. Where do I want to start? I think I want to start by just removing this and just making this no longer a part of the equation. I'll attack for 1. Put my opponent to 16. I will turn Retrofitter Foundry into Painter's Servant. Everything's black. Okay, and my opponent is done with me. Yeah, then I just turn a servo token into a grindstone, and I actually just have the kill. And maybe if I was going for like a painter kill rather than a damage kill, I shouldn't have even attacked with the servo. There's a lot of different lines that I could have taken in this match. I believe we are now up to 3-0. This deck feels really good. All right, I have kept my opening hand for round 1 here, or rather for round 4 here. Oh, we are playing against what is potentially a better artifact deck than the one that I am playing. Urza Echo is fast, if that's what this is. And Portable Hole will be of limited utility. And I also have, like, Karn to respect, so, like, that's a thing, too. I think I'm supposed to lead on Esper Sentinel here. It's pretty likely that this draws me at least 1 card over the course of the game. Like, there's some fringe lines where I'm supposed to, like, Portable Hole Mishra's Bauble to try to keep my opponent off of Metalcraft. Okay, I mean, getting a Force of Will and a Thought Monitor for a 1/1 white creature is pretty good. And there, all right, my opponent is cycling that. Yeah, Portable Hole missing Emery is kind of a big deal. Portable Hole not being able to answer a Chalice on 1 is kind of a big deal. Also, my Aethersworn Canonists are probably not going to be of the highest quality here. Neither are my Mother of Runes, for that matter. And that was top. Okay. Ancient Tomb is a hell of a drug. Okay, I mean, that's fine. I mean, if you do 2 life to just draw a card, I'm good with that. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I was wondering about the Preordain. Well, isn't that awkward? Oh, I think this turn looks like this. I play the Portable Hole, and I will exile their Grindstone with it. Oh, fuck! I tapped the wrong land. Well, no, I didn't. I wanted to play the Shadowspear. JK. Sorry, I hesitated for a second. I'm like, no, I can't play the Mother of Runes. No, I wanted to play the Shadowspear anyway, because the Shadowspear is much more important to this game, because my opponent is going to have Urza Sagas as well. And so I want to like have that in play to potentially win the life gain war. Okay, yep, this is all fine. It's really awkward to be the one who like naked plays out the painter though. Oh my god, that is so fucking brave, because like I have a grindstone coming. I have a grindstone coming. This is not a drill. I wonder if my opponent realizes that I am on painter. They might not. Also, there's definitely a world where I'm supposed to not play Ancient Den to play around Karn. But, like, this buffs the size of my construct. So, like, that's a thing. Alright. So I do this. Now, I am just going to float the mana. I will select Grindstone. I'll play my land. Yeah. Top 10 anime betrayals. Okay. Grindstone targets. So I could play Leyline of Sanctity to shut off opposing Grindstones. I am not sure if that is correct. I'm going to kind of see where the rest of my stuff lies. I want all my Portable Holes and Source the Plowshares. I don't super feel like I need Mother of Runes. I don't super feel like I need Soul Guide Lantern, although Emery is almost certainly in my opponent's deck if they're in, like, Blue Painter. That's just a way to get their shit back from the graveyard. Maybe I do have to keep this Soul Guide Lantern. I don't think I need Hope of Girapur. I don't think the Aethersworn Canonists are particularly amazing. This is 61 as is. The Pithing Needle's weird, but I probably need it. Mother of Runes can stop bounce shenanigans. And, like, my opponent does have some blue creatures. I don't know. The utility of the Soul Guide Lantern is probably greater than the utility of the 3rd Mother of Runes, or maybe, like, the 4th Esper Sentinel or something. I am unsure about these ley lines. I am not going to play them? Question mark? It also becomes very weird to evaluate opening hands. I wish this hand had 1 more mana, but I like most of the rest of what's going on here. I think I'm just going to keep this. Like, if I play a Grindstone, my opponent can't play out a Painter until they answer what I have going on here. And, like, I have the ability to find a Painter via Oswald Fiddlebender. Esper Sentinel is a great turn 1 play, and now I don't have to make some more difficult decisions immediately. Like, otherwise I had 3 different 1-drops that I could have played that all had different nuanced effects on the game. I'm glad I don't have to make that decision immediately, honestly. Alright, what are you going to do with this Ancient Tomb? Play a Sigh. I mean, that's pretty good in the, like, go wide of me plan. I'm happy to draw a card here. Okay. You stop with those Thopters. I don't like this. Your 2 Thopters are probably better than my 1 card in hand. Okay, what does my turn look like? What am I setting up for? Like, do I want to set up and get Fiddlebender in play? Am I setting up for Urza Saga Construct tokens? Am I setting up for Grindstone combo? Do I want to grow Ingenious Smith? Like, Urza Saga doesn't look great against a bunch of Construct tokens. But if I get those to become lifelinky, I think I like it. I'm going to go ahead and play my Urza Saga. And I am going to bring the Pain. I'll play Ingenious Smith. Portable Hole. Not great. Another Esper Sentinel, though, is pretty annoying. My opponent's going to want to spam cards, and I'm just going to say no to that. Sure. I'm going to go ahead and go Lotus Petal. That grows Ingenious Smith. And this is 100% worth using that Lotus Petal for. And then I will just spam Urza Saga Construct tokens for 2 turns. End up getting Shadow Spear in all likelihood. And just try to brute force my way through my opponent's Thopter defense. If I draw a bunch of cards, I can also just, like, reasonably draw some opponent's Lotus Petals and get some acceleration as well. Oh, don't Karn me. Okay. I mean, that's very good. I don't have in the air defenses, which is why I have to go for, like, making large constructs and making them lifelinky. Okay, my opponent... Oh, no, my opponent is taking attacks. Sounds good. I'm at 18. No Esper Sentinel cards in this turn cycle. Portable Hole will be fine against, like, the Urza Sagas of the world, but it's not doing anything super great right now. Okay, so I think this is just going to be a land, pass the turn, make a construct. That grows Ingenious Smith once. Taking a lot of damage in the air. Opponent also will potentially just have constructs that are larger than mine, even after lifelink. Because, like, the Thopters are artifacts. Opponent has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 artifacts right now. 7 once I have Urza Saga. I have 1, 2, 3. This will be 4, 5, 6, 7 if I can play a card. And exile one of theirs. I don't know. Maybe I... No, I think if I Pithing Needle Urza Saga, I end up, like, kind of being on the back foot here. I have to Pithing Needle that to just stop, like, Bobble Recursion, because Bobble represents Psi as well. I'm eating 5 in the air here. My opponent has not given me cards off the double Esper Sentinel in the way that I wanted them to. Alright, I will get my construct. I'd like to draw a land, I guess. Okay, nice. Now I can still, like, Portable Hole away Emery. Or, sorry, Pithing Needle Emery, rather. Alright, there's my construct. My Smith gets bigger. I grab Shadow Spear. I play this. Pithing Needle the Emery. Oh, now there's this Giant Paws. It's a good Force of Will. No, I am not Pithing Needle, Pithing Needle. Alright, I shut off the Emery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I don't want to trade. My opponent's Urza Saga is currently better than mine. I've got this Shadow Spear, but, like, they probably have a Shadow Spear in their deck. Oh, there's blue mana involved. Oh. So are you echoing, truthing? Oh, please make your Urza Saga construct tokens right now. Does this... Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought they were going to make And Urza Saga Construct token in response, and then bounce their tokens as well. Got excited for a second. I think I'm very dead now, after losing those 2 tokens to Echoing Truth. I think I now have to go for a Grindstone based out. Like, play Grindstone, play Painter, combo off the following turn. So I think I'm going to be in the business of doing some chump blocks for life. My opponent can grab, like, a lot of different things here. Like, they could just grab a Pithing Needle. Yeah. I would not be surprised if they just Pithing Needle Grindstone here. Ooh, okay, they have shut off Shadow Spear. So, yeah. In good news, I guess I get a card here. In bad news, things look a little grim. Actually, maybe they don't. Maybe I just play, like, Grindstone and Oswald Fiddlebender, and I just don't give a shit. It's just mostly a question of, like, do I die in the air over 2 turns? My opponent can vomit a lot of things here. So as of right now, I take 5 this turn, followed by 7. Shit. An opposing Grindstone is incredibly difficult to beat. While, like, there's also this much pressure in the air. Alright. So I take 5, and then my opponent has 8 on board. I guess I can Portable Hole a Thopter token. Like, that's a thing that I can do. Take your card. Okay. So, I play a land. It goes this. Play a Grindstone. I play an Oswald Fiddlebender. I play a Portable Hole. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which I absolutely have to use on a Thopter token. I can't use that to take out my opponent's Grindstone. Can't get cute with it. I'm going to have some obligatory chump blocks on my turn. Or on their turn, rather. But there's a world where I come out of this with a W. A lot of it depends on whether or not my opponent leaves up 3 mana for a Grindstone. Oh, I think my opponent thinks their Urza Saga is 1 higher than it actually is. I think they figured it out. Okay, they figured it out. That's unfortunate for me, because that means they're more likely to leave up mana to activate Urza Saga, which is coincidentally also mana to Grindstone. Ugh. What's it going on? It's going on Esper Sentinel. So that gets multiple of my blockers out of the way. That's bad. My opponent was 1 short of killing me, right? Yeah, so they had 3 ground-based bodies. So I, like, block here, take 5, 6, 7, 8 damage exactly. Man, Echoing Truth, man. That's absolutely bodied me there. No room to spare. I don't know that I win, even if I do get to, like, Fiddlebender for the Painter, because, like, my opponent has to mess up for me to win from there. Given how much Echoing Truths just savaged me, I think I need this other Mother of Runes in here, even though I don't think it's great in the matchup. I'm not sure what to remove for it. I think Esper Sentinel is good in theory. My opponent played around it really well. I'm not sure that I actually need the Soul Guide Lantern on the draw. It seems like a bunch of my other cards are higher impact, and I don't know that I want to cut anything else that's in the deck. I'm going to cut this and lose out on the ability to junk my opponent's graveyard for Emery. Hopefully that's fine. I think with 1 permanent mana source, this hand is not good enough. This kind of went the opposite direction. Pithing Needle, Urza Saga, Petal on 1. Pithing Needle like an Emery. Turn 2, make a small construct. I'm not in love with this hand. Like, 2 of my lands destroy themselves, and the Wasteland is likely to destroy itself too. I'm going to go ahead and mulligan deeper. I mean, on 5, this is a begrudging keep. My opponent's on 7. This is super bad for me. I'm going to throw back a Grindstone and a Plains. Not thrilled with where I'm at to start here. My opponent's deck has more card draw than I do. I also think it's very possible that my opponent boarded out their entire Painter package. Like, they don't need that stuff, and I do. Or maybe they, like, keep the like keep a Grindstone in there as an Urza Saga target or something. But it's not good for me. Take your card. Okay, I mean, that is a very real way to potentially power through an otherwise rough situation. This Wasteland's super awkward for me, because, like, if my opponent plays, like, an Ancient Tomb, I want to be able to Wasteland it right, but I probably can't give up getting an Urza Saga token with how the way things look right now. Okay, that's a lot. Yeah, now I probably can't reasonably Wasteland my opponent this game now that they have, like, a Mox Opal in play. Okay, that makes it significantly harder for me to combo off, like, now that they have their Grindstone in play. Alright. So, long term, I can Pithing Needle Emery. Short term, Emery is getting them a card a turn. I think I just play Wasteland here and pass the turn. I think I want to play an Urza Saga next turn rather than play and activate a Wasteland that I deploy from hand. Alright, Emery targets Bauble. You can take your free card. Okay. So from here on out, all of the Thought Monitor, Thoughtcast type effects are going to be 1 mana. So my opponent can string those together pretty well. I also just, like, I have to live in fear of my opponent's Echoing Truth, which is extremely good, and I don't have something of that quality to answer my opponent's, whatchamacallits, Urza Saga Construct tokens. Alright, Pithing Needle Emery. I will then play a new Urza Saga, and I'll attempt to bash in for 5 and then be sad when my opponent has Echoing Truth. Oh, okay. So, opponent chump block with Thought Monitor, presumably so they can bring it back with Emery and replay it, but I have Pithing Needle on Emery. So they would have to, like, Echoing Truth a Pithing Needle and then grab Thought Monitor that way? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay, there's another land. Opponent has all the mana in the world, presumably even more in hand. They didn't play out all the cards they... Oh my god. Anyway, they didn't play out all the cards they possibly could last turn. Okay. Pithing Needle, Shadow Spear, or Urza Saga? Shadow Spear. Oh. This Mother of Runes is incredibly good. Means that I can play around, like, an Echoing Truth in the future a little bit better. Plenty happy to have that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and attack in. I can deal my opponent 5, or I can try to deal my opponent 6. If I try to deal my opponent 6 and they have Echoing Truth, I lose out on a lot of damage. So I think I am just going to go ahead and take 5 here and play around Echoing Truth a little bit better. And then I'm going to play Mother of Runes, and I will be able to make an end step Urza Saga token. And then if my opponent has Echoing Truth, they get 3 of my tokens, but I will be able to make a 4th that is protected via Mother of Runes so that that sort of thing can't happen again. Show me Potato Salad. Opponent did not have Potato Salad. We are up to 4-0 with Plumber, and it is a full value league here. We are going to game 3 every time. Okay. I have a reasonable but not insane opening hand here for round 5. I have a little bit of acceleration. I have a little bit of protection. How good this hand is kind of depends on what my opponent is doing. I don't have any information about what my opponent is playing, so I don't know if, like, jamming an Aethersworn Canonist on turn 1, for example, just, like, wins the matchup or anything. I am not going to use this Lotus Petal yet. Against Flooded Strand, I don't super think it matters playing out the Lotus Petal. Like, playing out the Lotus Petal might be a detriment due to something like a Prismatic Ending. Although I guess it would probably have to be, like, double Prismatic Ending, because the first one would go at Mother of Runes, right? Okay. That's into an immediate fetch. I assume this grabs a white source, and my mom dies. My mom indeed dies. Hey, it's my friend, more other mom. So I think I'm going to play mom here. And then I think I will go ahead and just go Lotus Petal into Canonist. And just try to make it as awkward as possible for my opponent. to answer my onboard stuff. Because I think if I can get an active Mother of Runes, I have a pretty good chance at just, like, considerably slowing down my opponent and making life more awkward for them. Ooh. Alright. Plan to get active Mother of Runes has failed. I take my swing in with Aethersworn Canonist. Oh. So I am going to eat it here to Icefang Coatl. That's fine. So my Hate Bear's aspect has failed. We're probably going to start working now towards, like, being the combo deck. So, like, in an ideal world, I find a Painter right here. In my ideal world, I find a Painter right... Motherfucker. Alright. So I will grow my Smith. I'm going to sandbag this Grindstone. I think there's some worlds where the Ingenious Smith being larger than Endurance, like, very much matters. Play this Esper Sentinel. This grows. I think I'm just going to play around Endurance's 3-4 butt by waiting a turn. I'm going to grab this and put it on Teferi. And I'm just straight up not going to attack into Endurance this turn. Just because my opponent didn't play it doesn't mean they don't have it, though. Which is something to keep in mind. Okay. Narset is fine. Yeah, I can just attack and kill that and then deal my opponent 4 next turn. I'm good with that. Days Undoing. Oh, this is some shit. In order to play around Swords to Plowshares, I have to waste such an incredible amount of damage. I have to waste 4 damage to play around Swords to Plowshares on one of my creatures. I think I have to do it, unfortunately. Alright, I will grow my creature, and I will very, very sadly play around Swords to Plowshares. It's so much wasted damage. I think I have to do it. I cannot let my opponent play that Days Undoing and wreck me. And in case they just cast the Days Undoing because their hand is bad, I'm going to play out my Lotus Petal. Alright, what do you got with your fetch land? Son of a bitch. That is another Narset, and then they get to just play Days Undoing immediately. And just treat it as a draw 7. Yeah, I mean, you got it. This is also not an artifact, so it doesn't trigger this to grow it so that that can kill Narset alone. That's super annoying. So I will send... Nope. You two go at Narset. Revoker goes there. Hope I don't get screwed by something like a Solitude randomly. Alright, opponent's at 13. I think if my opponent has a sweeper, I am going to lose to it just 100% of the time. So I am going to play Fiddlebender here. And if it resolves, I just have Painter Grindstone next turn without any need. Never mind. Ooh, a guard. Man, I fucked up. I should have played Fiddlebender pre-combat so that I could have gotten in 1 more damage this turn by playing Aethersworn Canonist and growing the Ingenious Smith. Little optimizations, I guess. Yeah. So if I lose by 1, it's on me. I am going to just lose my goddamn mind right now. Oh, that's blind too. That is absolutely blind. Just if I was not playing for a 5-0, I would have conceded on the spot to that. But I am currently playing for a 5-0, and like something like timeout could very realistically happen. So I will cast my cards as I draw them, and we'll see what my opponent can do to me. But it is incredibly unlikely that I come back from this, because my opponent is just going to play something like an Uro that just ends me in 3 or 4 attacks. Like, the Uro comes back to play immediately. Yeah, so we're not going to take much clock off of my opponent here. I mean, like, I can pretend like this is going to do something in the face of a Jace with 4 loyalty and no 1-drop in play other than the Grindstone to turn into Painter. It's not going to do anything. Yeah, like, between Jace doing any like, you could pick a mode at random on the Jace here and just absolutely end me with it. Yeah, okay. How much do I want to play towards winning a game 3 in timeout versus this deck? I think enough to grind this time. Like, if I were to lose with 30 seconds left on my opponent's clock, I would be a sad panda. Alright. So this at least means that I can double spell, and that has some degree of meaning. Not a lot, but some. Okay, yeah. Just multiple Ice Fangs. Yeah, we're not winning this one. I don't know if I'm supposed to just like chump block. I'm not gonna do it this turn. I probably start chump blocking next turn. It's protecting their planeswalkers. I guess I could draw like a portable hole or something. Yeah, okay. Okay, I mean, Ingenious Smith is a pretty good rep. It cantrips. It grows. Oh, this is gonna be a hard cast Force of Will. Sure. Alright. I will bend some fiddles. Three of a kind with Ice Fangs. Alright, so there's a Teferi plus, a Jace minus. Yeah, absolutely just body me. I go to 2 here. There is no draw in my entire deck that does anything now. This is purely trying to grind a few more seconds off of my opponent's clock. And they're playing pretty quickly here. I think they know what I'm about. I am about destroying lands with great prejudice. I send these lands to the Shadow Realm. Wasteland Storm is 3. Wasteland Storm is a thing, don't question it. Alright. Fare thee well, Oswald Fiddlebender. You served a good life. Alright, there's the Jace bounce, and then this is absolutely lethal damage. Alright, so what do I want versus this Bant deck? I don't want Torpor Orb, because that just turns Uro into a 3-mana 6/6, just full stop. So I will probably want to answer that via, like, Swords to Plowshares and Rest in Peace instead. I'll probably play Relic of Progenitus. This will give me a decent number of answers to Uro. Portable Hole, not exactly what I'm looking for. It can answer something like an Ice Fang Coatl, but I don't super care about that. I'm not sure how to board from here. I don't love Aethersworn Canonist. I think it lines up pretty poorly versus Ice Fang Coatl in particular, but also potentially Endurance. I think I'm going to bin those. I am unsure if I want to play both Soul Guide Lantern and Relic of Progenitus. I do not want the Hope of Girapur. I think I'm going to keep both Graveyard Hate options available to me, because I don't mind naturally drawing one. And so the next question is, like, what is my last cut? I think I'm just going to cut a Lotus Petal. I think this game is going to drag on long enough where that's fine. I could cut all of the Lotus Petals. This is not a go fast game. This is a grind game. I could cut all of the Lotus Petals and then just play Aethersworn Canonist. The Lotus Petals make some of my, like, Esper Sentinel, Mother of Runes based lines early better. Just, like, awkward to play them out and then get them prismatic endinged. I don't know. I just think Aethersworn Canonist is not better than Lotus Petal. It's probably close. This does not have enough functional mana, despite having a lot of other things that I like about it. This hand is legit. I'm going to keep this. The sequencing with this hand is incredibly difficult. I think I'm going to pitch Crucible of Worlds. It recurring Urza Saga is sick. Maybe I pitch Grindstone. I'm thinking about whether or not I want to just Pithing Needle a Flooded Strand on turn 1. I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm gonna just pitch the Pithing Needle and keep the plan B. I am not going to play out this hand as quickly as I could to just combo off. I am going to value playing this Esper Sentinel. And my opponent very obviously respects that decision. Okay. Thundra Ponder. So my decision to just, like, blind name a Flooded Strand and try to, like, take my opponent off of initial mana sources would not have worked out. Alright. I play Urza Saga. I don't have the mana to activate this and make a construct next turn, which is rough. I can spike it. I think I'm just going to play the singular permanent that is potentially most threatening for my opponent and play the Painter Servant. They don't know that I don't have LED, but they can be dead to LED if they don't like Prismatic Ending or Swords to Plowshares that away immediately. Okay. I am very happy that I drew a land to actually get my constructs going. This is incredibly good for me. I do have some questions as to like how I want to play out my next turn in terms of like whether I make a construct or whether or not I just like grab a Lotus Petal and play, or it doesn't have to be a Lotus Petal, whether or not I just like use Urza Saga mana to immediately play Crucible and then just redeploy Saga immediately. I think I just take both constructs, but if my opponent has set up a Terminus, that's a little awkward. Or if they just have like a Dress Down, it's also awkward that way. All right. I am going to go ahead and just make my duders. Lots of options for what I could get. I think I'm just going to grab a Relic of Progenitus and start working on my opponent's graveyard. It's slow, but it's honest work. My opponent doesn't have green sources for Uro yet, so this brings them to 15. But this means that they have to like use a Prismatic Ending on this at some point this game, or I can just like crack. Okay, we didn't get Terminus, or maybe more accurately, we didn't get Terminus yet. It still happened via a Brainstorm on my turn. All right, I'm going to cast a Lotus Petal. That turns these into 6/6s. I am now going to cast a Crucible of Worlds. This reverts these into 5/5s if this gets countered. All right, it did not get countered, in which case I play an Urza Saga from the graveyard. These are 6/6s again, and then I play a Grindstone or Retrofitter Foundry, and these become 7/7s. Okay, so this is it, right? This is the game for ye old 5-0. Man, I want to get this one published. It is spicy. I do not believe that I am going to like make the change on like Lotus Petals versus Aethersworn Canonist. The Aethersworn Canonists get even worse on the draw. All right, given that my opponent has Force of Will to Esper Sentinel, and I have 2 of them in this hand, absolutely will keep this. The Esper Sentinels are a little worse on the draw, but like it's totally reasonable. I think I just play out Esper Sentinel prior to Mother of Runes, even though Mother of Runes is protection, as weird as that is. I would like to draw a white producing land so I can play both Mom and Esper Sentinel on my turn. What is this? Oh, okay. Oh, it's Prismatic Ending paying for the tax. Yeah, that's fine. Unfortunately, my opponent has double basics here. Okay, I mean, we could play a Mom and Urza Saga, or an Esper Sentinel and Urza Saga. That's fine. Yeah. It's construct time. Here's Esper Sentinel. Round 2. I think Esper Sentinel is better than Mom, but again, close. Okay. So now there becomes this weird question of like, do I play around a Hull Breacher? I think I do. No, I don't. If my opponent plays Hull Breacher, I Source the Plowshares it and then just play Painter's Servant. Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, I'm a fucking mind reader. Let's go. Please don't Force a Will me. God damn it. It pitched a Day's Undoing, though, which is a thing. Oh, I guess I don't get to draw my card because Hull Breacher's an asshole. All right. So I will play a Painter's Servant. Name Black. Pass the turn. So my opponent had to have the Hull Breacher that I hadn't seen, plus Force of Will, plus blue card there. I don't think trying to squeeze in that 1 point of damage was that bad. Just kind of hoping that this... Okay, good. I was about to say, if that was a Day's Undoing, it's super bad for me. My opponent didn't attack with Hull Breacher. That's kind of weird. Board was empty. They shouldn't be expecting haste threats from me. Okay, what do I want here? I think just a Relic. Start chipping away at my opponent's graveyard. I think I take a turn off from absolute max balls to the walls Urza Saga-ing to get a Mother of Runes in play. That leaves my opponent with a real choice about which one of these things to remove. Yep, I mean, that's fine. Okay. Ingenious Smith. Sure, can't really wasteland my opponent. Guess I'll do the relic thing first. I'm gonna be so bad versus a Terminus. I would like to find an artifact here so that I can grow this construct to a 3/3 and attack in and kill Narset. Was the end of that thought. Alright. I'll play an Urza Saga. Are we all in? It feels like I'm all in and I'm just not gonna beat a Terminus that happens. You're gonna become pro blue. And I'm gonna attack in and not kill Narset, but wound Narset so that she can't minus without fail. And I'm basically looking to dodge Terminus and Days Undoing. If I dodge those two things, I think I win this game pretty handily. And if I don't, I'm dead. Alright, more other Narset. That clears the top of the library very relevantly. Alright, Crucible of Worlds. Yes. That's quite good. I don't think I play that this turn. So this kills Narset. This hits my opponent. I think I hold... Yeah, okay. I think I will pro-blue this. That attacks Narset. This attacks my opponent. Then I do this Urza Saga thing. And that grows the Ingenious Smith by 1. While I'm at it, I'll just remove something from their graveyard. And there goes Narset. Alright. Went another turn without getting hit by a Terminus, but holy shit, I am scared. Okay, I mean, there's another Ponder. Show me a shuffle. That's a shuffle. Okay. Okay. I should have draw step stopped this. Go ahead and hit my opponent with this now, though. Okay. I will make my stuff bigger. Just like Pithing Needle something random. I think I take Retrofitter Foundry. I can make 1/1 bodies with that if everything else goes south. Alright. Get a card out of your graveyard. Swinging with these creatures. It basically has to be Blind Terminus. Opponent's at 2. Top card is random. It is not Terminus. I believe that is the 5/0. Let's fucking go! Yeah! Alright. Pretty damn happy with this league. I made mistakes in this league, but I am very happy with how I played. Especially since this is obviously a brand new deck list and one that I have never played before. Overall thoughts on the deck list. I mean, scoreboard, right? It was a 5/0. This deck list is pretty good. I think there's probably still room for optimization. So, for example, should there be a ensnaring bridge in the sideboard of this deck for the times that you need to stall things out versus an aggro deck? Because there's a lot of room for exploration at CMC3 for things that you could do. A single ensnaring bridge, I think, adds a lot versus aggro. I don't think the Portable Hole should be in the deck in game 1. And honestly, Portable Hole is kind of a medium quality card. It doesn't hit a lot of the things that you want it to hit, but it's very flexible and can answer a lot of things like opposing Pithing Needles. So I don't know that you want 3 in the 75. I would be willing to remove this one from the main deck for something else. I also don't like the Hope of Girapur. I understand why it's here, but I think there might just be some value in playing another decently powerful card. I'm unsure if this deck wants an Ancient Tomb or 2 to help accelerate out some of the painters and give you mana to activate Grindstone. There's a lot of moving parts in this deck list. I don't know how many Ancient Tombs you can afford in terms of your life total. But I really like the stuff that's there. I was unsure about the ley lines in the deck tech. I mean, they obviously did super relevant work in this league versus curses, so I'm still on the fence about them. But I like a lot of what's here. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed playing it. If you did, throw me a like or a comment or subscribe if you're new here. Those sorts of things help me out and cost you absolutely nothing. Have a great rest of the day, and I encourage you to give this one a try.